In this video, I'm going to show you how to first edit your photo for the Chiaroscuro design, and then use a couple different apps. It'll be your choice, either Pixart or Posterize, to posterize your image. The last thing I'm going to do in this video is show you how to put a grid on top of your image so you can transfer it onto your Bristol board. So here we go. I have my image opened, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to crop it. Now, as I am cropping my image, I'm doing it with the idea that I'm going to do a demo for you. So I want to make sure that I don't take on too much for my demo. Now, as I'm playing around with this, I decide I want to make it into a square. And you have the option between doing a square or a 3:4 ratio or a 3:5 ratio. But it's best to choose one of those ratios so the math is easier when you grid it. Now, as I'm playing around with cropping, automatically the rule of thirds shows up. And I decide that I want to just include one face for my demo. And I want to place her face right there at the intersection of the top right vertical and horizontal lines. So it's really pleasing to the eye when I do that. Also, when I crop this image, I don't want to crop any figure at a joint. So I want to avoid cropping her at the wrist. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right, that looks pretty good to me. Now the next thing that I'm going to do is I want to go to saturation. So when I go to saturation, and there we are, right there, I'm going to take away all the color because I need to turn the image into black and white. And you really want to do that right now when you edit your image on your phone. Take out all the color, okay? At this point, you might need to adjust your contrast, okay? So you may want to play around with your contrast. If I shift it up, my lights get lighter, my darks get darker. If I shift it the other way, I get more midtones, more grays. Now, what you want is you want a full range of values, and really, Jenna Leske is pretty great at doing that on her own, and so I really don't think I need to play with the contrast at all. But you might want to. Remember, maybe I'll shift it up just a little bit. You want a range of values that go from white to black with several different shades of gray between. Okay, that looks great. And haha, great. You get it? Yeah, all right, so that part is done. Now I'm going to show you how to use the app Posterize to turn your image from a photo into a posterized image. Now the benefit of having a posterized image, and you can see this is a photo of a plant that I took, and if you look carefully you can find the praying mantis there. And the benefit of posterizing an image is you can clearly see the values in shapes that are flat. So let me show you what I mean. Right now I'm going to go into this folder on the bottom right, and I'm going to click on New from Photo Album. And here I'm going to select the image that I just edited. And you see a little, see my advertisements pop up because I use the free version. Now, as I'm looking at this, what's going on here is it's zoomed in, so I can kind of shift off the zoom. And if I click on the zoom, okay, what comes up is the change the color and the number of colors. So let me say that again, right? I clicked on the zoom and this popped up. Change color and number of colors. You're going to click on number of colors. You don't want to change your colors. Now watch what happens. If I take this little circle here, and if I shift it to the right, I get more colors, which means more of a variety of the different grays. So as I'm looking at this and I'm zooming it in, I've got white. I'm going to count how many grays I have. I've got white. I've got kind of a medium gray. Then I have a dark gray. Then I have a black. So it looks like I have two different grays. Now what happens if I shift this a little bit higher? What happened was I get a third shade of gray. So I've got, the white, of course the black, and then if you look at my grays, I've got 1, 2, 3 shades of gray. You can I clearly see it when I'm looking at her chin, 1, 2, 3 shades of gray before I get into black. Oh, I almost think there's 4 shades of gray. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, one's really, really dark. So maybe I want a few less. Now, you can use anywhere, I would recommend 3 shades of gray. You could go up to 4, or you could go a little lower if you want to keep it simpler at 2, but I think 3 is a good number. Now let me look at her chin again. 1, 2, 3, maybe it's still about 4. So that is more simplified. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, I think I might be going and doing the one that's a little bit more. I think that looks better. So I'm going to zoom out, see what it looks like. That looks great. And after that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this folder right there, and I am going to, I remember what happened now. I'm going to, if I click on Save to Album, there's an error. Yeah, I think that's because it's a free app for me. If I click on Share, there's just too many choices, although you could email it yourself, you could print it, okay, on and on and on. So that was too complicated. So in the end, what I'm deciding to do is simply taking a screenshot of this. All right, so I've got my screenshot. I'm going to open my screenshot, and when I do that, these handles on the side allow me to crop it immediately. So I'm going to go ahead and crop it. And then after I crop it, I'm going to hit Done and Save to Photos. So that's how you use the Poster Shine app to create a posterized image. Now I want to show you how to use this Pixart app to create a posterized image. It's just another choice. And I probably prefer this one. You can see that I've already been experimenting with it. So I'll just cancel that and show you how to do it. Now, you can figure out what to do right now. There's a plus sign right there on the bottom. So I'm going to click on plus, and then I'm going to click on my photo. And that is the photo, and it's not posterized yet. So you want to make sure of that. Now, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go into effects, right? It's the FX effects on the bottom. Click there. Now, after you do that, what you're going to do is you're going to go to artistic, okay? So it's effects and then artistic. And then there's one that says poster. So I'm going to click on poster. Now check this out. You might think, oh my gosh, that's too blurry. I don't want to do that. But if you click on poster again, right? Oops, there it goes. Now you have 3 different bars that you can adjust. So in the Poster Shine app, you only had colors, and here you've got colors, details, and fade. All right, so now for my details, if I raise my details up, my image is going to be clearer. You see how much clearer that got? And if I take my details all the way down, I can barely see your face. So it really is up to you what you want to do. I'm going to keep my details fairly clear. That seems pretty good to me. Now for my colors, that's how many colors I get. Now if I pull it all the way down, I have far less colors. Yeah, you see that? So all the way down, I basically have like maybe 1 shade of gray, which we don't want. We want like between 2 to 4. Now that looks really pretty good. And I prefer that, I think, to the Posterize app. So I think I'm going to go with that. I'm seeing like maybe 3 different shades of gray. And as far as fading goes, you know, when you want to experiment with this, just push it all the way up. If you fade all the way to 100, then it doesn't look like it's posterized at all. If I go all the way to the end, the fading part, what it does was it eliminates these little speckled areas that you'll get between the shapes. So I recommend having your fade bar pretty close to the left. All right, so I'm going to apply that, and then I'm going to just zoom in to see what I have there. So I've got the white, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 different shades of gray, and that looks pretty terrific. If I look at her face, you know, there's not a lot of details, but I think it looks pretty cool. I'm going to go with that because when I zoom out, it's really detailed enough, so you can see see actually her expression, her intense expression there. All right, so after I do that, what I'm going to do is I am going to share it, and I'm going to click Save, and I'm going to download the photo right there. All right, and click Done. The last thing I'm going to show you is how to put the grid hashtag on that image. So I'm opening, the grid hashtag app. I know there's several different apps that you use. I'm going to my camera on the top right, click on my photo, use that photo that I just did. Now I could use 3 and 3, but I feel like I need to have a few more grids, few more squares so I can be more accurate. The more squares you use, the more accurate you can be. So I do want to go to grid type, make sure it's set for square. Okay, don't use rectangles. Squares are easier when it comes to the math. And go to 4 in each row. Okay, you could do 5, but I'm going to do 4 in each row. That's what it looks like. Now, my white lines are a little bit thick, so what I can do is scroll back to my settings, and I can make that line a little narrower. So let's try 3 pixels for that. That looks much better, and I am ready. So I am going to just take a screenshot of that, and I will crop it. Not cropping, I'm just taking the rest of the image out, and I will say done and save to photos. And I'm ready to start enlarging my image on my paper. Very excited to do this one.